coming up from Dolphin Stadium. Yep, the winner of this one will win this series and will win the season series. Last two nights, nail biters. What will we have today in the heat? We'll find out next. Pack, the Puma shirt, all of that. It is Kids Sunday. We celebrate that every home game here at Dolphin Stadium, and we start things tonight, or today, with Tommy's tips. Tommy Hutton gives you a tip. Kids, listen up. Here's our first Tommy's tip. We always
like to help you out in your game, and if you're a youngster, a little base running. Watch Cody Ross as he hits a gapper. He's thinking double, maybe triple. He looks at the ball. Right now he's thinking 3 bases. When you get close to the bag, you want to pick up the third base coach. He picks up Bo Porter. He's still thinking triple. He sees the stop sign, and he gets back to second base. You want to round that bag hard. You always want to think to the next base, but you want to pick up that coach a step or 2 before you get to the bag.
Well executed, well illustrated. Cubs, 75 and 48. And Lou Piniella sending this lineup up there this afternoon. Brought to you by Toyota. Alfonso Soriano, Ryan Terrio, Derek Lee, Aramis Ramirez, Kosuke Fukudome, Giovanni Soto is the catcher. He is right now the Rookie of the Year in the National League. Mike Fontenot at second base, Reed Johnson in center field, and Ryan Dempster on the mound. Marlins have faced Dempster once this year.
Well, we talked about Chris Volstad and the maturity level that he has for a 21-year-old and how he tries to manage a game. And I think there were some great comments just looking back at the time when he signed and was a first-round pick in 2005 out of Palm Beach Gardens High School. So Chris has come up big in games where the Marlins have needed a solid performance in not always the best of situations. Remember the big game in Philadelphia? He pitched a nice game in Chicago, and certainly Freddie Gonzalez hoping the same this afternoon.
Volstad in that start in Chicago went up against Rich Harden. Marlins won that ball game 3-2, and neither Harden nor Volstad figured in the decision.
Take a look at that defense behind Chris Volstad. Rico brings you the D. John Baker will be behind the plate. Caught 4 of Chris's starts, and he certainly is familiar with him. Jake and Cantu at the corners. Ramirez and Uggla up the middle. Luis Gonzalez with some incredible offensive numbers against Ryan Dempster is in left field. Cody Ross, Jeremy Hermida filling it out, and here we go. Strap on that seatbelt and get ready to go.
Freddie Gonzalez, Carlos Tosca. Freddie's bullpen is a little bit thin, both in numbers and in available arms, because of the 4-game series against the Cardinals and the 2 against the Cubs. All were tight games. Soriano takes a cut, and it's 0-1. And in all of those 6 games, Freddie had the bullpen up, working in, out. And so today there are a couple of arms he'd like to stay away from. Slow grounder to third. Cantu fires across in time. Got to play good defense behind Chris Volstad. He's going to give you some ground balls.
Yeah, you always have to be alive. And as you watch Volstad work today, watch him go up, go down, go in, go out. He went up with the fastball, then got Soriano on the next pitch. And that's how he works.
Ryan Terrio, Cubs shortstop, takes inside. He has a hit in this series. Solid with the glove and having a terrific year at the plate. Been over 300 all season. He almost looks like Ryan Sandberg's little brother.
Rhino had a little more power.
Yeah.
Than Terrio.
Well, I said little brother.
Okay.
So. Letter high strike. Gary Darling is the home plate umpire with Chris Guccione at first, Bill Miller at second, and Jerry Meals at third.
Cubs got 6 hits off Chris Volstad in that 6 innings he pitched at Wrigley Field.
Chopper to short. Hanley by a step.
I think the key, Rich, is both pitchers knew that this game was going to start a little bit later. So they were able to kind of hold back on their pregame preparation and then get ready for this 1:30 start.
Some limited batting practice on the field. Most teams took their cuts in the tunnel to stay out of the heat. Lee takes a rip at that Volstad offering. Pretty good pitch, and it's 1-1. Lee did not get the start last night, but did come into the ball game. In fact, he ended up with 2 at-bats, had an infield single in the 9th. It was a hold on to the edge of your seat 9th for Kevin Gregg.
That infield single was Derek Lee's 1,500th career hit.
Gregg is one of the arms that Freddie would prefer to stay away from today, because he was up in that Cardinal series, worked in that Cardinal series, and of course has worked in the first 2 games of this series.
There is Kevin. You know what? He would tell you he wants to work, though, if it gets into that situation today. That's the way he is.
The other guy the Marlins might not have today is Matt Lindstrom. Wow.
I tell you what, a couple of close pitches, one of those has to be a strike, the one that was away or the one that was in. And Volstad got neither from Gary Darling.
Number 16, third baseman Ramirez.
Where's Derek going?
Here's a guy that hurt Volstad in Chicago. Aramis Ramirez homered and singled against him.
Rich, I think the unique thing when you watch Volstad work, you usually use this term to a guy who's smaller and say he has a compact delivery. Chris Volstad's 6'8" and has a compact delivery.
And you can see when he does pitch a little bit of Jim Palmer in him. And as the story goes, Palmer worked with Volstad and a few of his other Little League teammates for 3 or 4 years when he was a kid. His father videotaped. They took those lessons to heart. And in Palmer's words, the most important thing he taught Volstad was the foundation of the windup and delivery.
And the repeating of the delivery, and he's been able to do that.
Got Ramirez to pop it up, and it's over into the seats and out of play. Cubs have their cleanup hitter back in the lineup. Missed a couple of nights with a hip injury that was suffered in Atlanta.
Yeah, this guy's been a solid hitter. He's one of those hitters. He's going to strike out a little, but 74 strikeouts, 62 walks.
You know, every time we see Brian Giles or Jason Kendall, we talk about how Pittsburgh tried to build a team around them. Remember, Aramis Ramirez was part of that foundation as well in Pittsburgh.
Mostly fastballs for Chris in this inning.
Three-two.
The Cubs have fouled off numerous pitches. You figure the walk to Derek Lee and the foul balls, and all of a sudden Chris Volstad at 20 pitches here in the first inning.
Another 3-2. Another foul ball. The Mets are back in Pittsburgh. That game is underway and scoreless in the top of the first.
And Johan Santana for the Mets today.
The Padres took care of the Phillies last night. That's a night game tonight. Well, Ramirez continues to feed souvenirs out to the fans. Full count. Derek Lee's at first. Another 3-2. Missed with the breaking ball.
That one he doesn't have working for him quite yet. You know, you talk about the Mets. They've won 5 in a row, and it's easy to see why. Pelfrey, Maine, Oliver Perez, Pedro, 7 innings last night, Santana, plus they've been getting some pretty good hitting.
Kosuke Fukudome in the 5 spot in right field. And the Cubs have runners at first and second. It seemed like the Cubs had runners at first and second all night last night. They ended up stranding 12 in the game.
Soriano and Terrio saw 7 pitches, 2 ground ball outs. Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez saw 16 pitches.
Fukudome has struggled mightily in August. He has struggled since the calendar turned from June to July. That was well after all the All-Star votes had been cast, and he was an All-Star starter. You can see the All-Star break numbers. The decline for him started a couple weeks before that break.
Chris Volstad's going to have to make some good pitches with his fastball, because so far that's the one that he has working. He hasn't dropped in a real good curveball yet.
Slapped into the Cubs bullpen. Pitch count and innings and getting deep, so important in this ball game. We told you that the Marlins have a couple of arms they'd like to protect. Turning Mark Hendrickson around day game after night game could be troublesome as well. It's not something he's used to doing in his career. That's another foul ball, which means the Marlins are going to need some good innings from Reniel Pinto, a Logan Kensing, a Joe Nelson.
And if you pick your spots just right, Arthur Rhodes.
Two. Got him. Ball in the dirt. Fukudome thought he tipped it. Baker tags him out. Long inning, but Volstad gets through it without any damage.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all of the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Toyota trucks, Hanley, Gonzo, Cantu, Jacobs, Ugla, Hermida, Cody Ross. Big hits in this series. He's in the 7th spot. John Baker behind him. Chris Volstad hits 9th.
And a guy who is used to this mound, a guy who's used to this heat because he was a Marlin. Two-seamer with good sink. He has that late-breaking slider and his splitter. Very good pitch, a little deceptive sometimes if you, as we pointed out in Chicago, if you focus on that glove twitch that he uses to help disguise his grip.
Fastball, Hanley hits in the air to right field. Fukudome is there and makes the catch. Brian Dempster is one of the more likable guys in this game. As Tommy pointed out, he developed that twitch with his glove to disguise when he changes grips. Oftentimes pitchers feel they can tip their pitches when they move the glove or how they grip the ball. And so Dempster came up with that flip. I asked the last umpiring crew that was in here, Dana DeMuth, about that. They said pitchers can do that as long as that starts their motion. If they did it and didn't start their motion, it would be a balk.
And as you see, that's how he starts his motion.
A wide strike to Gonzo with Cantu behind him. Gonzo has had terrific success against Dempster in his career. Those are his season numbers. 11 for 19, couple homers. That may have been a payback for that first called strike.
Dempster certainly knows the importance of going right after hitters on a day like this to try to minimize that high pitch inning.
Gonzo squirts it out towards short. Terrio on the run throws him out.
And 2 quick outs for Dempster on 6 pitches. Take a look at the defense behind the former Marlin. Kosuke Fukudome in right field. Just a couple of errors this year. Solid outfielder. Reed Johnson plays center field. Well, Soriano in left. Ramirez, Terrio, Fontenot, and Lee around the infield. And Giovanni Soto back behind the plate.
Cantu climbs in. Jorge's one hit in this series was a big one. It was a 3-run homer on Friday night. It's an 8-pitch inning for Ryan Dempster. Took Volstad 29 to get through the first. He'll try to improve when we get to the second.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a streamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball loving life. Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV. Change your life. Sharp. How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a streamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball loving life. Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV. Change your life. Sharp.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? At Grind TV on Yahoo Sports, you can submit your own videos or watch the pros in action. Check out the most outrageous, untamed, and awe-inspiring sports videos on the web, surfing, skateboarding, motocross, and so much more. For the sickest action sports videos, check out Grind TV on Yahoo Sports.
Hey, this is Curtis Grant. Hey, this is Adam Dunn. Check out the shop on MLB.com. Check out the shop on MLB.com for all your Dodger gear, for all your Red Sox gear,
all your Yankees gear,
All your Blue Jay gear.
your Cincinnati Reds gear.
for all your Twins gear.
Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the MLB.com shop today.
Welcome back. Here we go. Chris Volstad facing Giovanni Soto. Mike Fontenot, Reed Johnson to follow. Soto fouls a pitch off. Volstad, as we told you, labored 29 pitches in that first inning. A pair of walks, 2-out walks to Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, 8 pitches for Dempster.
It's a Cubs team that's very good about working the count. They're kind of the National League equivalent of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, very similar to the Cardinals, which we just saw.
In fact, the Cubs with 495 walks. That's tops in the majors. Boston is second, 474. And the count runs full to Giovanni Soto. What a valuable piece he is, especially coming off the trading deadline when the Marlins were out searching for catching help. And you saw the high price that teams were trying to exact from the Marlins for that catching talent.
More foul balls, by the way. They're just battling and making Volstad work.
Up and in. Soto walks. This is the Summer Cash Inning, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Every Wednesday, someone will win $250,000. Cash for a year, or cash for life. Ask for Summer Cash. Play today. Listen for this sound at the terminal.
You're a Summer Cash winner.
Fontenot
having trouble with the curveball, and I think because of that, he's really trying to be perfect with the fastball and has missed. Go back to that first start that Chris Volstad had in L.A. Remember, he could drop that curveball anytime he wanted. Not a leadoff man reached until the 9th inning.
He's all over the place, and it's 3-0, and his pitch count is just shy of 40.
The one good thing, and you hope he can turn it around, is that we've seen him do that. We've seen him, for a 21-year-old, be able to regroup in the inning and turn things around.
Yeah, and collect himself and not let the whole inning collapse down around him. We've seen that with so many young starters who will throw an inning or two, be on a nice track, and then all of a sudden out of the ball game. Up the middle, center field, base hit. Charging is Ross. Soto stops. Is it just me, or do the Cubs have runners at first and second again?
Well, they do, and when you're just throwing fastballs, it could get worse. So he's going to have to regroup in a hurry. Good news, he's got the 8 and 9 hitter, but Reed Johnson, and we talked about this Cubs lineup, the 7 and 8 hitters throughout the season for Lou Piniella have collectively hit over 300.
You go back to last night, 7th inning, Cubs had the bags loaded. 8th inning, Cubs had first and second. 9th inning, Cubs had first and second. And that was in a 2-1 Marlins win, so it's a good example of how the Fish had to grind it out last night with Hendrickson, Kensing, Rhodes, Lindstrom, and Gregg.
It's amazing when you look at the series between these two teams. 3-3, Cubs and Marlins. 4 of the games have been one-run games, and the other 2 were decided by 3 runs or less.
Reed Johnson. One of the things that has highlighted this Marlins-Cubs matchup all of this year is the unlikely home run, or the unlikely home run hitter. Reed Johnson is one of those. The Cubs have home runs in their 7 games against the Marlins. Or rather, there's 6 games against the Marlins. This is the 7th. From Reed Johnson, Giovanni Soto, Ronnie Cedeno, Mark DeRosa, Darrell Ward, Henry Blanco twice. Alfonso Soriano and Derek Lee have homered as well.
Good news, a couple of good curveballs to Reed Johnson for strikes.
In the air, Hermida. Nobody tagging.
It's amazing when you get that curveball over, all of a sudden you see the type of swing Reed Johnson had, more of a defensive swing against the fastball.
And a chance now with Dempster up to get another out. Let's see what the Cubs do. Whether they, and they're much like the Marlins in this case, because they've got a guy who's not just a leadoff hitter, but a run producer on deck in Soriano.
Yeah, you saw third base coach Mike Quaddy talking with Ryan Dempster. A lot of things he could have told him. He might be bunting, but he may have said, you know what, if they charge real hard, pull the bat back and go ahead and try to chop one.
Dempster squares, takes a ball.
And he's going to have to drop down a really good bunt, because not a lot of speed at second base in Giovanni Soto, the catcher. But he's done a good job at that this year. 13 sacrifice bunts.
Fouls it back, and it's 1-1. Dempster, Canadian, Grew up north of Vancouver, British Columbia. A lot of good Canadian arms in Major League Baseball. Jeff Francis, Rich Harden, Eric Bedard. Eric Gagne.
They see what he tried to do when he saw Mike Jacobs get in there and creep in a little closer. Dempster tried to slap it by him.
Corona is the official sponsor of the timeout. Relax responsibly. He had to go 2 hours every day to play high school baseball in nearby Vancouver. Turned down a scholarship to Notre Dame and was drafted back in '95 by Texas in the 3rd round. Curveball, good bunt. Volstad will go to first. And now he'll set his sights on Soriano. Well, here's the difference between the Cubs leadoff man and the Marlins leadoff man. They're both electric players. They both hit home runs. Soriano, with runners in scoring position, is hitting .325 this year. That's an area where Hanley is obviously trying to improve in. Breaking ball, that one almost got Soto.
Talk about Soriano and Hanley Ramirez. A great comparison, both very aggressive with their swings. Good curveball. Soriano's done it for a long time. This is his 9th year, and he has had some big years as a major leaguer. He had a 40-40 season with Washington.
Both he and Hanley out of the Dominican Republic. Went after the breaking ball. Baker digs it out, tags him out.
The curveball is back for Chris Volstad.
Volstad has had to work, and so far the Cubs kept off the board.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
One lane, one chance, one goal. This summer, don't miss your one opportunity to catch history in the making. At Yahoo Sports, you'll get real-time news and highlights, up-to-date medal counts, and an easy-to-use TV schedule, plus expert analysis from Olympians like Dominique Dawes, Mike Powell, and Matt Biondi. And don't forget to join me, Gretchen Bleiler, for each day's Summer Games Roundup. One world comes together this summer at Yahoo Sports.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
With the curveball, Tommy.
Yeah, and it was a pitch he really had trouble with in that first inning, but you get 2 strikes, you can expand that zone. Sharp curveball, broke off a dandy to get Soriano to chase it. You know, he broke off, it could be said many things. The hammer, the bender, the deuce, the hook, and when it's a really good one, the Lord Charles.
Is Lord Charles related to Uncle Charlie?
Uncle Charlie, yeah, in the same family.
Distant English cousins. Well, the Marlins will try to make Ryan Dempster break a sweat here in the second. He threw all of 8 pitches.
kind of an interesting number, and I thought about this when I saw this for Ryan Dempster. He's pitched really well at home at Wrigley Field. He's 11-2 in his 15 starts with a 2.77 ERA at Wrigley Field. On the road, a lot of no decisions, but for him, this is a little more familiar road territory, pitching off this mound.
He just change up and change up and change up Mike Jacobs to death there.
He's not wasting any time. He got ahead. He's not going to waste a pitch. Went right back to the same thing. If you were pitching against the Marlins, would you use your changeup?
Extensively. Ugla now 1 for 6 in this series. Marlins head to San Francisco tomorrow to open up a series on Tuesday night.
What a drastic weather change we'll have. The temperatures in San Francisco are going to be in the 60s and 50s.
Here's the 1-1. 1 and 2. Ugla and the Marlins split a 4-game series against Dempster and the Cubs in Chicago. And the two teams have split the first 2 games of this series. Been an interesting road through the big leagues for Dempster. Texas, of course, traded him to the Marlins organization in '96. John Burkett deal. Ugla goes down, a pair of strikeouts. Next Super Saturday is August 30th. The Marlins and the Mets. That will be a Super Saturday, that's for sure. The concert is Olga Tanyon, plus a fireworks spectacular. First 15,000 in the ballpark get a Marlins wall flag, courtesy of the fine folks at FSN Florida and Sun Sports. Tommy helped pick him out and design him himself. Here's Hermida. Jeremy,
extensive.
A long dry spell. And he pops that one up down the line. Soriano, glasses down, makes the catch. Dempster has retired all 6 that he has faced. We are scoreless.
The pros in action. Check out the most outrageous, untamed, and awe-inspiring sports videos on the web. Surfing, skateboarding, motocross, and so much more. For the sickest action sports videos, check out Prime TV on Yahoo Sports.
Hey, this is Curtis Graham.
Hey, this is Adam Dunn. Check out
out the shop on MLB.com. Check out the shop on MLB.com for all your Dodger gear, for all your Red Sox gear,
All your Yankees gear.
All your Blue Jay gear.
Your Cincinnati Reds gear.
for all your Twins gear.
Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the MLB.com shop today.
Cub fans, a lot of face-painted Cub fans. Now, Met fans, whom we see a lot of, and Philly fans, we see a lot of Philly fans.
Not as much face paint.
Yeah, they don't. They do more of the body work than the face painting. Cubs have their leadoff runner aboard for the second time today. Terrio singles to left.
Well, what a crazy start for both pitchers. Drastic differences in pitch count through the first 2 innings. Look at that. Ryan Dempster's only thrown 18 pitches, and Chris Volstad 53.
And the red warning light that's going off is the one that's going off in the Marlins dugout, because the Cubs bullpen, there's a ground ball base hit into left field. Cubs bullpen is fresher and deeper, and yet their pitcher is only 18 pitches into this thing.
Hey, Rich, guess what? First and second for the Cubs.
See, it's not just me.
And not balls hit all that great, but just in the right spot. Well placed, 2 singles between third and short.
Well, now you've got Ramirez, who was one of the main culprits of that 29-pitch first inning, with a long at bat filled with foul balls. Runners go. Out at third.
A gift.
How about that?
Lou Piniella just gave the Marlins a gift. I don't think a hit and run would be on with Ramirez up there. I would be surprised. He didn't even attempt at it. And Terrio is out by a lot. Good strong throw by John Baker. In the meantime, Derek Lee wandered over to second base.
Baker knocks that ball down.
This is a nice throw by Bake. Steps out, fires it. Perfect strike to Jorge Cantu.
Well, Volstad extracted himself from the first inning when the Cubs had first and second. He did it again in the second inning. Cubs actually got their runners to second and third. Ground ball third. Cantu looks him back, shoots it across in time. But just like that, there's 2 outs. And Fukudome comes to the plate.
Well, we've seen what that runner getting thrown out can do to a pitcher. Dan Uggla, Chris Perez come to mind.
Fukudome went after a curveball in the dirt back in the first. Fukudome played 9 years in Japan with the Chunichi Dragons. Once you play 9 years in the Japanese league, you are a free agent, and you can come and play in the major leagues, and the team that you sign with does not have to send any money to the Japanese team. But if you decide to leave early, there is a posting fee, and it's almost like an auction. Whoever bids the most gets the chance to negotiate with that player.
So the rich teams are going to get the good Japanese players, is what you're saying.
In some cases, for a guy like Fukudome, who went through 9 years. They didn't have to post, but they did have to pay him big bucks. Baker's taken a few of those.
I think the disappointment so far, at least in this year, Fukudome a couple of years ago in 06 was the MVP of the Central League. Hit over 350 with 31 home runs. That is not what Lou Piniella has seen this year.
Won 2 batting titles, 4 Gold Gloves.
And as we've talked about, a struggling Jeremy Hermida has put up better productive numbers than Fukudome this year. More RBIs, more home runs.
That's a strike, and it's 3-2. Yeah, the Cubs give a $4 million signing bonus to Fukudome, and then $48 million over 4 years. Derek Lee's at second. Volstad. 3-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go?
Yeah,
yes,
did.
he did. Baker digs it out. Volstad strikes out Fukudome. And the big right-hander from Palm Beach Gardens escapes again.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a screamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV. Change your life. Sharp.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the
Sunday, isn't it, Tommy?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes people say it's a lost art, but every once in a while you'll see a nice bunt, and every once in a while you'll see a poor attempt. Jeremy Hermida with a poor attempt. The bat is low. The barrel of the bat is low. Watch the difference in Scott Olson. Look at the barrel of Hermida's bat. Watch Scott Olson. He stays on top of the ball, the barrel up top, pushing it down on the ground. So the good and the bad. So nicely done by Scott Olson. And a nice bunt by Brian Dempster earlier in the game.
A nice start so far by Ryan Dempster.
This is, though, one of those games that Lou Piniella is saying, how can it still be 0-0 with all the base runners he's had?
That's kind of how the Marlins won the 2 games in Chicago, is they hung in there against good starting pitchers.
And then hit a long ball.
Yep, Dempster and Harden were the 2 games that the Fish won.
Well, the Cubs stranded 13 last night.
One and 2 to Cody. Ross has had some big hits the last couple of nights. His RBI single last night in the 5th gave the Marlins their 2-1 lead. And that's how it ended. He had an RBI double back on Friday night that tied the game at 1. 2 one-run games. First one went to the Cubs. Last night went to the Fish. Can you think of any other pitchers, modern day or back in the day, that use that glove flip as pronounced as Dempster does?
No, I've been trying to ever since I first saw him do it. And I just can't recall anybody that flipped the glove. He actually does it a couple of times. Does it once right here, then again.
And as I told you, I talked to Dana Dubuque and his crew about that in specific, and he said pitcher can essentially do anything he wants as long as that starts his motion and he's consistent with it.
Yeah, and he doesn't do it from the stretch. It's only from the windup.
Ross, left field, deep, Soriano, wall, off the wall. Cody racing for second. Over for it is Johnson. Ross headed for third, and he's there with a dive. Big mistake by Alfonso Soriano in left field.
You get backed up too close to that wall, then there's no chance if you can't get to the ball. The ball carried back into shallow left field, a long way for Reed Johnson. Here's the pitch. Launched by Cody, and there's Soriano backed up against the wall. Now here comes Reed Johnson. He has a long way to go. Cody Ross, as we pointed out earlier, checking the ball. Good base running, sees where it's coming. I think Ramirez was surprised it was cut off by the shortstop Terrio. He wanted it to come through.
Now let's see if John Baker can come through. Infield's back. Baker takes outside.
Yeah, this is the key at bat too, because you have Chris Volstad, the pitcher, on deck.
The good news is there's nobody out. Baker got handcuffed, and it's 1-1.
Tell you what, Cody Ross is a fundamentally sound, good ball player. Does a lot of little things correctly.
Baker rolls it up the middle. That's going to score the run. Ross across, and the Marlins have a 1-0 lead.
Nicely done. That is good to see. Infield back. If you can get it on the ground, short, second base, going to pick up a run. Watch how he makes sure he does it. Kind of rolls over on that.
Nice short swing.
Good job.
Here is Volstad.
Isn't it amazing? All the base runners the Cubs have had, nothing has crossed the plate. The Marlins' first base runner is Cody Ross, and he scores.
And all the pitches that Volstad has thrown, he's thrown 63 pitches in 3 innings. Yet he's thrown a shutout. And a line shot snared by Fukudome.
Fukudome had him played right. He was shallow. Chris Volstad hit that as well as he can hit it. Sinking line drive, but because Fukudome was playing in the right spot, he made the grab.
Here comes Hanley now. Hanley now with 27 homers to go with his 56 RBIs. Hanley drives it left field. That ball's deep. That ball off the wall. Hanley around first. Here comes the throw. Hanley is safe, and he's darn lucky he's safe.
He was dogging it around the first base turn because he thought he'd hit a home run. Gotta go hard all the way.
Here comes Piniella, and he's enraged.
Well, so's most of the crowd because they're all wearing blue.
The call was made by the third base umpire, Jerry Meals, on the rotation. Second base umpire, Bill Miller, went out to make sure that that ball was in the ballpark or out of the park.
Hanley, for a moment, thought he was at Wrigley Field. This ball's deep into the bleachers at Wrigley, but not here. He hits it well, a fastball. He flips the bat. He thinks home run. He's trotting. Now he sees it hits the top of the wall. turns it on and just gets in, maybe.
Let's watch. Now the tag was on the back. He did get in. His front foot got there before the tag. Another look. Yeah, foot hits the bag before the tag is there.
Very close, though. Too close. It shouldn't have been that close.
We've seen that happen twice in this series. Once with Dan Uggla and there with Hanley Ramirez.
Marlins have 10 hits in this series. 8 have been extra base hits. Isn't that a lot of hits? But they've been extra base hits.
Gonzo fouls it off, and quickly it's 0-2. Marlins still searching for that number 2 hitter, the guy in the lineup that Freddie Gonzalez feels can add protection for a guy like Hanley.
I think it's just more of that, because the Marlins don't really have a number 2 hitter. It's just whoever hits in that spot is going to protect Hanley Ramirez a little bit.
I think that's one of the reasons why you don't see Alfredo Amezaga in that spot when he does play. God love him, but Amezaga is not a guy that other pitchers fear like they do a Gonzo or a Cody Ross. Dempster misses up. It's 1-2.
Tell you what, Soriano made a nice play too to throw that ball back into second base, make a good throw.
Two and two. He went around. So Gonzo goes down, but the Marlins get a run on a pair of doubles. It's 1-0. Ball game going on here at Dolphin Stadium. Chris Volstad has really labored. 63 pitches. Brian Dempster has been economical, but it's Volstad and the Fish who are up 1-0 going to the fourth. Soto takes a big breaking ball for a strike. Mike Fontenot and Reed Johnson. Marlins getting their run in the third on a triple and a double. Not two doubles. Ross with a triple. Hanley with a double. And, of course, John Baker drove him in with a ground ball.
Tell you right about now, Chris Volstad needs one of those efficient innings.
Cubs catcher walked back in the second. And he's gone 3-1 to Soto. Check swing, got a break. One out. We check in with Craig.
Rich, Cubs Marlins brings out lots of dignitaries and famous people, including Miss Teen Florida, Sarah Callahan from Fort Lauderdale. You won this recently. Congratulations. How was the competition?
It was fabulous. It was a lot of fun. Made lots of great friends. Got self-confidence. Learned life lessons. And it was only 4 weeks ago, so yay!
You have a one-year reign now. What are some of the responsibilities as Miss Teen Florida?
As Miss Teen Florida, you have to make lots of appearances. You have to be involved with your community, as well as be a well-rounded, great, genuine person.
You also won the People's Choice Award. Rich, take it away.
Left field, Gonzo at the wall, makes the catch. And there's 2 outs. Back to you, Craig.
All right, and the competition was exciting. Tell us about the international award you won also in Orlando.
Yes, in Orlando at the international competition, I won the People's Choice Award, which was really surprising because that's the award that people go online and they vote for you. So go Florida, woo!
All right, now there are people out there may have a girl. How can somebody get involved and try to win next year and get the crown after you have your ring?
Well, they could log on to www.galaxypageants.com and go to the delegates section. Yes, correct. And then find their state, find their hometown, and apply.
You have great energy, and congratulations. We know why you won, right, guys? Sarah Callahan. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
All right, Miss Teen Florida. Guys, back over to you.
All right.
I think Bubbly certainly was part of that competition. Well deserved.
Two outs here in the fourth. Volstad. Line shot off the bat of Reed Johnson. That ball's in the gap, going to the wall. Hermida will pick it up. Johnson racing to second. That is a double. This is the double. Cubs record for longest hit streak.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm
Sean Dunston.
Yeah, you think of names like that. You think of Ryan Sandberg. You think of some of their good hitters. We had Bill Madlock the other night for an answer. Speedy guys, maybe. What a Bob Dernier.
Jerome Walton. Dempster with 2 outs. Good pitch. Volstad can't get it. Ugla does in time. How about that? Chris Volstad, a nice, easy fourth. Boy, you needed that.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? At Grind TV on Yahoo Sports, you can submit your own videos or watch the pros in action. Check out the most outrageous, untamed, and awe-inspiring sports videos on the web, surfing, skateboarding, motocross, and so much more. For the sickest action sports videos, check out Grind TV on Yahoo Sports.
Hey, this is Curtis Grant. Hey, this is Adam Dunn. Check out the shop on MLB.com. Check out the shop on MLB.com for all your Dodger gear, for all your Red Sox gear,
All your Yankees gear.
All your Blue Jay gear.
Your Cincinnati Reds gear.
for all your Twins gear.
Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the MLB.com shop today.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
One lane, one chance, one gold. This summer, don't miss your one opportunity to catch history in the making. At Yahoo Sports, you'll get real-time news and highlights, up-to-date medal counts, and an easy-to-use TV schedule, plus expert analysis from Olympians like Dominique Dawes, Mike Powell, and Matt Biondi. And don't forget to join me, Gretchen Bleiler, for each day's Summer Games Roundup. One world comes together this summer at Yahoo Sports.
Lead the hot corner. Tommy, we've seen some action at third base in this series.
Hey, how about the hot corner? There it is. Now you know why. Look at that play by Wes Helms on a shot by Fontenot. You play even with the bag, things get at you really quick. Last night, again, Wes Helms knocks it down. So when you play third base, you're a lot closer than you are when you're playing first or short or second, and that's why they do call it the hot corner.
Got more right-handed hitters in the game, too, to pull it your way. Cantu, Jacobs, Ugla, second time through against Dempster.
Used to get a little hot when you were holding a runner on AstroTurf, and Stargell or McCovey was the hitter.
At first base.
That would be the hot corner at first at that time.
Cantu takes a Dempster breaking ball down low. It is 1-0. Ryan Dempster's thrown just 40 pitches in this ball game, and he's looked sharp. He struck out 3, walked no one.
His fastball has been good. He's used his slider, thrown a few splits. I think he struck Gonzo out on the splitter to end the third.
Hung an off-speed pitch, and Cody Ross knocked it off the wall and left for a triple to lead off the third. John Baker scored him with a ground ball. Cantu gets into that one. Left center field. Reed Johnson racing at the track, makes the catch.
I'll tell you what, the Cubs are lucky this game isn't at Wrigley Field.
Bring back the duck. Come on, Duck.
He's a little slower on this hot Sunday afternoon.
He needs his heavy metal music.
Fly! All right, very good.
Thank you. All right, Cubs' longest hitting streak. We dropped a lot of Cub names on the air. Let's hope that we got one of them. Come on, Duck.
Hey, Jerome Walton, you were all over. You had it. Speedy outfielder.
Yep. From Noonan, Georgia. Jacobs after a fastball.
Yeah, every time I see Ryan Dempster, I think of one of my favorite Ryan Dempster stories. He was with the Marlins, and the team traveled to Chicago to start a series against the Cubs. When we got off the plane, he found out he had gotten traded to Cincinnati. The Marlins traded him on July 11, 2002 for Juan Encarnacion. Tough part about that, his father had traveled all the way from Canada, Western Canada, to come to Chicago to see Ryan pitch. He'd never been to Wrigley Field. His dad had. So Dempster left the club, joined his new team in Cincinnati, and his dad stayed for the 3-game series.
Here is Ugla. Dempster had his way with Jacobs. He threw him change-ups in the second inning, fastballs here in the fourth inning. Starts Ugla out with a bender.
Yeah, sometimes his slider's a little bigger than others.
That time he started his windup, Tommy, and he didn't do the glove thing.
Yeah, and he stepped off. He kind of got out of sync.
Is that why? I wonder if that's why he stepped off.
Sure.
He said, well, I got a routine I got to follow here.
Ugla couldn't check his swing on another slider.
Jacobs and Ugla, striking them both out twice. A 9-pitch inning for Dempster. Stad. Here in the 5th, press the sat button on your set or your remote, and Raul and wait a minute, Raul.
Hey, Rich, Tommy, how you doing?
Well, we're good, but you're going solo today, huh?
Yeah, well, I got the Colonel with me. He's the silent partner, but he's helping me out
nice.
here.
There's Raul's partner right there.
Now
the Colonel.
Now wait a minute, Raul. Last night there were 3 guys in the booth.
Yeah, you see that? We have a big variety over here in the sat booth. We had
Pepe Frias,
Cookie, Tony Perez, and
Pepe Frias.
Pepe Frias was here yesterday, and then today we just have Colonel Sanders here.
All right. We know you can handle it, Raul.
I'll take care of it. I'll hold it down for Cookie till he gets back.
All right, Raul.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay, Hermida racing over. Makes the catch. How about the Colonel getting some airtime?
Yeah, Colonel is. Doesn't say a whole lot.
Chris Volstad, in the 1st inning, left a couple. 2nd inning, left a couple. 3rd inning, had a runner caught stealing, and he left another runner. In the 4th inning, left another Cub in scoring position. But he's got a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, the Cubs have left 6 men on, 5 in scoring position. They're 0 for 6 today with runners in scoring position.
It's interesting to watch these 2 ball clubs play each other because they have a huge contrast in plate approaches. Marlins hitters, Cubs hitters. I mean, Cubs hitters have been working the count, putting balls in play, fouling pitches off.
And you see the shot of Jim Presley. It has nothing to do with the batting coach. It's what he has to work with. And I think, who knows what's going to happen in the offseason, but I really think it's an area that the club is going to have to address to not have so many just free swingers, long ball guys. They're nice to have occasionally, but you need to grind it out once in a while. And we've seen the Marlins have trouble when they have to do that.
Terrio got clipped by that breaking ball. I remember hearing a quote from Marlins Vice President Larry Beinfest, who said at some point this season, a lot of our hitters just decided to wail away. Here's Derek Lee, and it's worked for the ball club. Larry Beinfest, the president of baseball operations.
Yeah, and you're right. And we said it earlier today, talking about people who want to change all kinds of things right now as you wind down the final part of the season.
Ground ball, Cantu backs up, Uggla's turn, got him, double play.
A well-needed double play for Chris Volstad.
Uggla took a hit at second, but made the turn. And Volstad is through 5, and the Marlins are on top 1-0. Lindstrom went an inning and a third. And of course, Kevin Gregg teetered a bit, but got the save. 3 2/3 scoreless innings. There's the bullpen right now. All watching Ryan Dempster go to work against Jeremy Hermida. Cody Ross, John Baker to follow. Bottom 5. Dempster floats in a changeup for a strike. Hermida flied out back in the second.
Well, you watch Ryan Dempster work. Certainly a much more polished pitcher than when he was with the Marlins. But an all-star with the Marlins in 2000. Won 14 games that year.
All-star this year. In fact, he pitched a scoreless 9th inning in the all-star game.
Yeah, struck out the side. Pretty good night.
This is his 5th year as a Cub. Signed as a free agent after he was in Cincinnati. Hermida into right off the end of the bat, and it falls in for a base hit. So Jeremy gets his first hit of the homestand.
And breaks an 0 for 17. So that's good to see. A little bit off the end of the bat, but he'll take it because if he had hit it solidly, it might have carried to Fukudome.
Here's Cody Ross. Tripled off the wall back in the 3rd. I can remember a couple of times last year, especially in the second half, when Ross really was tearing it up. We wondered out loud what Cody Ross would be like if he could play a full season's worth.
Yeah, we're getting a chance to see that this year. I think what we've seen, a perfect example, the base hit he got last night. Just stayed back, hit it the other way. We've seen more of that. He's always going to be a streaky type hitter when the power is concerned. Most power guys are. but I think we've seen better, more consistent at bats from him.
Dempster misses outside. Well, Ross has his 17 homers and his 57 RBIs in 331 at bats. It's about 150 fewer than, say, a guy like Hanley Ramirez. See Soto looking into the dugout. A 1-2. And I think the swing that we saw last night on that base hit to right field is a swing that Ross is still perfecting. Cutting down his swing when there's 2 strikes, or it's in a situation where all the ball club needs is a ball hit hard somewhere.
And remember, that came after the intentional walk to Hanley Ramirez.
Up and in.
Well, he's gone down and away with some sliders, and then Dempster went up and in with a pretty good fastball. Let's see if he goes down and away with the slider.
Cody, of course, got clipped on the elbow against the Cardinals, hit in the back at Shea Stadium last weekend against the Mets. Baseball basics.
Yeah, that last fastball up and in to Cody Ross, sometimes that's referred to as a little chin music.
Let's see if Hermida might be breaking from first. There he goes. Ross hits a ground ball that's just foul.
You know, that's the first 3-ball count that Ryan Dempster's had today. That's why he's been so efficient.
Ross dirty from head to toe. That slide with his triple back in the 3rd.
You know what's funny, I think last year we talked about Cody and his swing. Last year with sporadic play, I think in this situation we might not see the runner going. But I think Freddie's seen that, you know, he's been able to cut down that swing some with 2 strikes. And it makes you do so if that runner takes off.
Not running. And Ross swings and misses. So an out, and here comes John Baker.
6 strikeouts, no walks for Ryan Dempster.
Baker's ground ball scored Ross back in the 3rd. Bake had the mustache going in the Cardinal series.
Now he's working on a little soul patch.
Big swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Dempster at 61 pitches. Chris Volstad is at 85. The Marlins have a 1-0 lead, the bottom of the 5th.
That John Baker's hit in 10 of his 14 games. He's come through with runners in scoring position. Came into this game 364 in those situations.
Jeremy Hermida has led off this inning with a single. Two and two. The Cardinals are getting a load of Edinson Volquez in Cincinnati. 2-0. Reds on top of the Cardinals in the 6th. Giants lead Atlanta 2-0 in the 5th. Baker strikes out. The next Family Sunday is on the 31st. The Marlins and the Mets at 1:10. It's a Billy's birthday bash. And of course, Family Sunday activities. First 5,000 kids get a Billy the Marlin doll from Build-A-Bear Workshop. A Billy Build-A-Bear. Now that will be popular. It's brought to you by Broward Health.
Now let me just say this. Billy throws a heck of a birthday party.
Volstad line to right. That's outside. It's 2-0. Chris hit a line shot into right, and you can see Fukudome how shallow he is.
Yeah, he was right about in there when he came in to make that catch last time.
Chris, a good athlete, has not embarrassed himself at the plate. You see oftentimes young pitchers come up who didn't hit in high school or college, or obviously in the minor leagues up until the Double-A level.
A very good basketball player. Did not play his senior year. Focused mainly on baseball. Two and two. That would be strike three. Dempster finishes the 5th with 3 consecutive strikeouts. We've played 5. Marlins up 1-0.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? At Grind TV on Yahoo Sports, you can submit your own videos or watch the pros in action. Check out the most outrageous, untamed, and awe-inspiring sports videos on the web, surfing, skateboarding, motocross, and so much more. For the sickest action sports videos, check out Grind TV on Yahoo Sports.
Hey, this is Curtis Grant. Hey, this is Adam Dunn. Check out the shop on MLB.com. Check out the shop on MLB.com for all your Dodger gear, for all your Red Sox gear,
all your Yankees gear,
all your Blue Jay gear,
your Cincinnati Reds gear,
for all your Twins gear.
Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the MLB.com shop today.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
One lane, one chance, one goal. This summer, don't miss your one opportunity to catch history in the making. At Yahoo Sports, you'll get real-time news and highlights, up-to-date medal counts, and an easy-to-use TV schedule, plus expert analysis from Olympians like Dominique Dawes, Mike Powell, and Matt Biondi. And don't forget to join me, Gretchen Bleiler, for each day's Summer Games Roundup. One World comes together this summer at Yahoo Sports.
Then it's on to Atlanta, so it's a 3-city trip for the Fish. And an opportunity for the Marlins when they get to San Francisco. They will not see Tim Lincecum, the Giants' young starter.
They may not see Jonathan Sanchez. Doesn't look like they will.
There are the lines for Dempster and Volstad. The pitch count, certainly one of the differences. Strikeout's a big difference as well. Dempster has punched out 8. Volstad has survived. He has done, Tommy, what he told us he really worked on in the minor leagues this year. He has managed the game. It's not something you see in young pitchers.
Well, he's also been able to, part of that management has been bringing the pitch count down. 34 pitches the last 3 innings. 51 pitches the first 2 innings.
Heck, you don't often see it in veteran pitchers.
Yeah. That's what I think has impressed everybody with Chris Volstad. And that's what impressed the organization with him when he came up in the minor leagues. He did the same thing. And I think you heard in that report that we were able to show Jim Fleming talking about how he wasn't like the normal first-round pick who tried to blow everybody away with fastballs. He tried to pitch to contact, get outs, and manage games.
A great comparison to Volstad would be a guy like an A.J. Burnett. Right field, Hermida, track, at the wall, makes the catch. And A.J. Burnett has as good a stuff as anybody in the big leagues.
And is having a very good year this year, by the way, with Toronto.
But remember, as he came up into the big leagues, that was always a real battle for him. Was great stuff versus managing the game.
Yeah, he always had dominating stuff.
Fukudome. Strike.
It's a great lesson for young pitchers to watch a guy like Chris Volstad and how he works. And to me, it's a great lesson for scouts that you don't always have to pick the guy with the electric 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He may never learn how to control a game.
Volstad misses away.
It's enticing, though. It's enticing because they think they can teach him. Some never learn.
Lined into center field. Ross is there. Makes the catch. 2 down here in the 6th inning. And Giovanni Soto strolls up to the plate.
Number 18, catcher Giovanni Soto.
It could be the greatest show and tell of all time. Take Hanley to school. Presented by Metro PCS and Motorola. Sign up at any South Florida Metro PCS location or guest services at Dolphin Stadium. It's your chance to take Hanley Ramirez to your child's school. Participating grades kindergarten through 8th. Deadline to enter August 26th.
Can you imagine, Rich, when you were a little kid in school, being able to do something like that? Yours would have been an Oakland Athletic, right?
Yeah.
Who would you have liked to take to school at that time with the A's?
Campy Campaneris.
Oh, there you go.
Center field. Ross makes the catch. How about Chris Volstad? Sails through the 6th. 1-0.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? At Grind TV on Yahoo Sports, you can submit your own videos or watch the pros in action. Check out the most outrageous, untamed, and awe-inspiring sports videos on the web, surfing, skateboarding, motocross, and so much more. For the sickest action sports videos, Check out Grind TV on Yahoo Sports.
Hey, this is Curtis Cranston.
Hey, this is Adam Dunn. Check out the shop on MLB.com. Check out the shop on MLB.com for all your Dodger gear, for all your Red Sox gear,
All your Yankees gear.
All your Blue Jay gear.
Your Cincinnati Reds gear.
for all your Twins gear.
Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the MLB.com shop today.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
One lane, one chance, one goal. This summer, don't miss your one opportunity to catch history in the making. At Yahoo Sports, you'll get real-time news and highlights, up-to-date medal counts, and an easy-to-use TV schedule, plus expert analysis from Olympians like Dominique Dawes, Mike Powell, and Matt Biondi. And don't forget to join me, Gretchen Bleiler, for each day's Summer Games Roundup. One world comes together this summer at Yahoo Sports.
You think back to 2 games, too. They had a 5-0 lead in the third, last game at Wrigley, and, of course, the game the other night. I think that bodes well for the Marlins ball club to show the Cubs that they are standing tall with a team that has mashed most of the National League. They're 6-0 against Atlanta and also 11-4 against Pittsburgh. One on the note, guys, they still play the Phillies 3 and the Mets 4 before it's all done this year.
Well, the Marlins have played well against tough teams. They're 5-1 against the Milwaukee Brewers. They have a winning record against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Hanley takes a fastball high. Dempster runs the count to 2-0. Top of the order, Hanley, Gonzo, Cantu. Well, I think the good news for the Marlins, the fact that the Mets, as Craig pointed out, have a 4-game series.
The only thing that concerns me about that, Rich, is I think by that time the Cubs will have it clinched.
Okay, well then this might make you feel better. Here's the 3-0. It's high. The Phillies.
I like it when you make me feel better.
The Phillies go in to Wrigley for a 4-game series starting in late August on the 28th. So right, the Phillies have to play the Cubs as well.
Right now my concern is the Mets. They're on a roll. They're leading again today. They're trying to make it 6 in a row. They're that team that we talked about. You put together a streak about now, and they've beat up on Washington and Pittsburgh. They're getting great starting pitching, and they're getting some good hitting from their entire lineup. First walk today by Dempster.
Luis Gonzalez 0 for 2. And remember, Gonzo had the gaudy numbers against Dempster coming into this ball game. He's now 11 for 21 in his career. And he slices that one to left center field. Reed Johnson's not going to get it. It's going to go to the wall. Here comes Hanley round third. He's going to score. Gonzo does it again.
Boy, you talk about gaudy. That was a gaudy line drive that went right over the head of Johnson. He had no chance at all. This ball took off the bat of Luis Gonzalez. Just continues to add to that total. Double number 589. It's our checkers double. Look at this thing just jump. Solid swing, crushes it. Reed Johnson throws, and then he just turns around. He got no chance at all to chase that one.
Cantu waiting. Fastball up and in. Immediately following this ball game, inside the Marlins, the Luis Gonzalez edition will premiere. It's right after the ball game on FSN Florida. Jorge Cantu felt that pitch grazed his helmet.
Got a couple of those in this series. Remember the other night, Jeremy Hermida got ticked on the sleeve of his jersey, but not called.
other way, drives it into right field. Gonzo will stop at third.
Did you see the way Jorge Cantu approached that ball? He sent a huge message. I'm the number 3 hitter. I've got 21 home runs, 68 RBIs, but I'm going to do everything I can to move that runner from second base over to third base, and look at how he approaches it. Hands inside, drops it the other way, and gets himself a base hit to boot. Beautiful.
Now let's see if the Marlins can make it pay off. This is the part of the lineup that Dempster has eaten alive. He has struck out Jacobs twice. He has struck out Ugla twice. Changeup's got Jake in the second. Fastball's got him in the fourth.
He's gone upstairs because he knows that Jake likes that fastball down where he can get good extension. And when he's thrown him the fastball, he's tried to keep it up. Even a double play ground ball right here gets a run in.
(2-0). Soto on his way out.
You know, it's amazing after all the laboring early in the game from Chris Volstad and the quick innings that Brian Dempster had, the 31-year-old legs look like they're getting a little tired out there, and the 21-year-old has been able to muster up some good energy.
And as you saw, it's the Cubs bullpen that is scrambling right now. So on a 2-0 count, let's see if Jake gets one of those low fastballs.
Nope. That's where Dempster stayed all afternoon to it.
It's up, and it's 3-1.
Good patience, though. You almost, with your eyes, have to project a sight line, and anything above that, let it go.
Jacobs right field, curling, foul.
Got the slider. Boy, got a hanger too. Might have been a splitter. Whichever it wasn't a good one. And it just kind of hung up there, and Jake pulled the trigger a little too fast.
I doubt he's going to get it again. So the count's full. Jacobs needs some contact. Dempster's looking for a strikeout. Marlins trying to add another run in the sixth. Stays alive.
Got another off speed.
Gonzo's RBI double followed the Hanley Ramirez walk. Cantu just trying to move Gonzo to third. Punched one into right field. (3-2). Count full. Brian Dempster is 13-5. Freddie Gonzalez and the Fish trying to take 2 of 3 from the first place Cubs. Struck him out. That's a big out for Dempster. Here comes Ugla. Coors Light freeze cam. This is Cody Ross back in the third inning. Freeze it right there. Off-speed pitch. Alfonso Soriano couldn't make the play, and Cody ends up with a triple. Our Frostbrewed Coors Light freeze can.
I don't think I have to, but I will explain the importance of this third run to come in here. It's a psychological thing, too. If the Cubs get out of this inning, and if Dempster or the bullpen gets out of the inning and gives up just the one run to make the score remain 2-0, they will feel like they've made some progress. But if the Marlins add another run, it just does much more damage.
Here's the other significance. We remind you again, the Marlins have a couple of arms down in that bullpen they'd like to stay away from. They've used Lindstrom the last 2 nights. Greg was up in that St. Louis series every night, and of course has worked the ninth in the first 2 games in this series.
Now the double play ball won't do it. Dan Uggla's got to either somehow get a fly ball or slow roller, something to get that runner in from third base.
Uggla takes outside, and it's 2-0. So if you could get this extra run and even another, instead of 2-0, make it 3 or 4-0, then you don't have to grind out those last couple of innings, bringing a reliever in here, a reliever in there.
Gives Freddie a little ease of mind.
Uggla check swing. Did he go? No. It's 3-0. You got Hermida on deck. Lupinella has a righty and a lefty in his bullpen. Volstad has shut down the Cubs through 6. 3-0. Uggla went after a breaking ball.
Looked like a 3-0 slider.
And it's 3-1.
Dempster did not give in with a 3-0 fastball.
Paul LaDuca with a bat.
I'm sure Wes Helms is getting ready somewhere.
Hopped up, and here we are again, Tommy. Dempster needs the strikeout. The Marlins just hoping for some contact.
And going after what looked like was ball 4.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second, safe. Cantu steals the bag.
Jacobs and Uggla are 0 for 6 combined with 6 strikeouts. The middle part of the order has not produced. And all of a sudden, I'm telling you, if you don't get this other run, momentum's going to go into the Cubs side. 10 strikeouts for Dempster.
And in both those at bats, you don't need a hit.
You don't need a home run.
You need a ground ball.
You need a ground ball. You need contact. You would have thought maybe somebody would have taken a page out of what Jorge Cantu did. Just going the other way with his base hit. He was just trying to hit a ground ball that way.
Cantu at second. Gonzo at third. And Hermida, who was flied out and singled.
I think Lou feels comfortable with Dempster throwing to Hermida. If, let's say, he brought in his left-hander, he knows that Freddie would probably counter with Wes Helms, who's done a great job off the bench.
He has stayed down low, and it's 2-0. There's Helms. Bat, gloves ready. You saw LaDuca with the bat.
know, it's amazing. Dempster's almost caught Volstad in the pitch count. There's 93 for Ryan Dempster, but his has been backloaded.
Volstad at 98.
Yeah, and Chris Volstad was front-loaded the early innings.
2-1 pitch. Fastball up, and it's 3-1. There's Cody Ross. Piniella pacing. He's got relievers ready, and he's going to put Hermida on. Is it Dempster who pitches to Ross?
Yeah, we'll see what Lou's plan is. He knows there's not going to be a pinch hitter, so he knows whoever's out there is going to pitch to Cody Ross. And he feels, it looks like, confident in his 13-game winner, Ryan Dempster. Cody Ross came through with a big hit yesterday when Hanley Ramirez was intentionally walked. Drove in the second run of the game, and that was the game winner.
Struck out in the 5th. The triple in the 3rd. Drive to center field. Johnson there makes the catch. Marlins leave them loaded. They do add a run. We go to the 7th. 2-0 Fish.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
One lane, one chance, one goal. This summer, don't miss your one opportunity to catch history in the making. At Yahoo Sports, you'll get real-time news and highlights, up-to-date medal counts, and an easy-to-use TV schedule, plus expert analysis from Olympians like Dominique Dawes, Mike Powell, and Matt Biondi. And don't forget to join me, Gretchen Bleiler, for each day's Summer Games Roundup. One world comes together this summer at Yahoo Sports.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Now and help Billy.
Kid Sunday here today at Dolphin Stadium. The Marlins and the Cubs. And another tight ball game. No surprise after the first 2 of this series. Marlins up 2-0. Chris Volstad throws a strike to Mike Fontenot with Reed Johnson, and in the pitcher spot, due up in the 7th. Big breaking ball is high. Volstad wobbled early. Cubs left a couple in the first, a couple in the second. They had 2 runners aboard in the 3rd, didn't score. Got a double in the 4th and didn't score. From that point on, Volstad has really settled down.
Since the 2nd inning, the most pitches he's thrown in an inning has been 13.
Fontenot rips it down the right field line. Hermida's going to have to go into the corner to get it. And the Cubs second baseman has himself a leadoff double. Marlins bullpen, Kensing and Pinto.
I think you can see the key for Chris Volstad when he falls behind and uses that fastball, because it's not an overpowering one. Guys have good swings. So Fontenot had a good swing at that 3-1 fastball.
Reed Johnson is doubled and flied out. Oh and 1. Last night, the Marlins were able to mix and match from this point on to the last out. Freddie Gonzalez does not have that luxury today.
Different today. A couple good curveballs, by the way, those first 2 pitches to Johnson.
Line to center. Cody Ross diving. Knocked it down. Picks it up. Cubs have the tying runs aboard.
2 good curveballs. Then he jammed him with a fastball, but you give Reed Johnson credit. He just stayed with it and dropped it in front of Cody Ross. Boy, this was close. Cody with a pretty good jump. Just on the heel. Doesn't have it. And the Cubs are in business. And it just keeps making you think more about that 3rd run that the Marlins couldn't get across the plate.
Cubs are going to pull the trigger on Jim Edmonds. Freddie's going to come out and go to the bullpen, and it looks like he's going to summon Reniel Pinto. Ameziga is going to be part of this in a double switch as well. 2-0, Marlins on top. Here's our Marooney called to the bullpen.
Truck or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
Said yeah, with home runs only, and 6% said no. This week's poll question: which Marlins prospect would you most like to see in September? Chris Coughlin, Cameron Maben, Dallas McPherson, or Gabby Sanchez? Log on to FSNFlorida.com. Chris Volstad comes out of this ball game, and that starts a flurry of activity from both managers.
Well, Lou Piniella had sent Jim Edmonds up. There are the numbers on Raniel Pinto, who should be ready to go and rested. He's had a day or two where he hasn't had to work, and now the job is his out there. But Edmonds was sent up as a pinch hitter. That's when Freddie made the move. So Lou Piniella pinch hits DeRosa now for Jim Edmonds.
DeRosa against Pinto. One of the things you worry about with Pinto is a wild pitch. He has, especially in the second half of this season, bounced an awful lot of them. There's a strike.
Yeah, the last time Pinto worked was the third game of that Cardinal series. There's Alfredo Amezaga, double switch. He'll hit number 9. And Cody Ross moves over to right field.
1-1. Baker smothers it. 8 wild pitches this year. That leaves the Marlins staff. Some of the numbers that Pinto has, they just don't add up. Hitters are hitting just .215 against him, and yet his ERA is up at 3.61. He was very good in the first half and has struggled in the second half. But the Marlins need him here today.
Oh, they do. A lot of those wild pitches, too, Rich, have been on the changeup. And when he struggles throwing after a strike, that gets him in trouble. And right now he struggled with the changeup to DeRosa.
Well, Soriano is on deck. There are the numbers before the All-Star break, after the All-Star break. Change up. Count full now at 3-2. DeRosa's having a very good August. We saw Ryan Ludwig. Manny, of course, has had a big impact with the Dodgers. (3-2). Lost him. Here comes Soriano. Bags are loaded. Kensing's in the bullpen. Pinto has had better success against righties than lefties, but obviously he just walked DeRosa. No place to put the big bat of Alfonso Soriano. Soriano puts it into the seats, foul.
Soriano said he's going to start me off with a fastball to get ahead. I'm going to be ready for it. He pulled the trigger, but pulled it way foul.
Bags loaded, nobody out. Two days ago, when the Marlins decided, as you see the Cubs runners, they are loaded. When the Marlins decided to bring up Paul LaDuca, Justin Miller was designated for assignment. The 1-1. That thinned the bullpen by an arm. The 4-game series against the Cardinals was a grinded-out series. Both bullpens worked hard. The 2 games against the Cubs have been the same. So today, the Marlins bullpen already down that arm. Very thin. 2-1 pitch. Change up, good one, 2-2.
And let me add, the reason the bullpen and the starters, for that matter, have had to work hard is because the offense has not been alive very much. They've got a 2-0 lead now, but the offense has not done a lot in this series.
Pinto, 2-2 pitch. Line drive left field. Gonzo over. Can't get it, and it gets by him, and it goes to the wall. Fontenot scores. Johnson scores. Game is tied.
Changeup, but it didn't fool Alfonso Soriano. Sinking line drive. Gonzo doesn't make the play. Once it gets by him, easy the 2-run score. And over third base is DeRosa, and at second is Soriano.
Terrio now. Then you've got Lee. Then you've got Ramirez. Middle infield is back. Pinto misses inside. Pinto has walked DeRosa, given up the double to Soriano. One and one. The book on Volstad is closed. 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits. Two and one. There's DeRosa. Soriano at second. Change up back to the box. Pinto goes to first. Everybody retreats. And the Marlins get it out.
They get it out. They get a little bit of a break on a nice pick by Pinto. Terrio hit this sharply. Runners are checked, and he gets the out.
Here's Derek Lee. Let's see if the Marlins put him on. They will.
You know what? This is the move to make, but it's a tough one because of the shakiness of the control of Raynel Pinto.
And because you've got the Cubs' best run producer on deck. Does Pinto face Ramirez? Or does Kensing face Ramirez?
You got Ramirez, then you have another lefty in Fukudome. We'll see.
The workload of Lindstrom and of Gregg. Hendrickson is a tough guy to turn around in back-to-back days. Here comes Ramirez. Here comes Mark Weiler. Both starters go 6 innings. Neither starter will figure in the 7th in a 2-2 ball game. Well, Dempster actually could get the win here if the Cubs were to take the lead and keep the lead.
You know, the absolute frustrating thing, and there's so many things to be frustrated about, is the job the starters have done with Chris Volstad, with Sanchez, Nolasco, Olsen. Everybody has contributed. Josh Johnson has been terrific. but the offense has not given the bullpen any leeway, not given them any ease at all.
Here we go. Aramis Ramirez 0 for 2. Pinto 1-0. We've talked about these last 2 ball games because they were close and late, and Ramirez very good, but way out in front there. DeRosa was the first man Pinto faced. He walked him. Soriano hit that sinking liner that skipped by Gonzo. After Terrio bounced out, the Marlins gave Derek Lee first base. 1-1. It's 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Infield waiting for a ground ball. 2-2 pitch.
You know, the thing about Pinto, he's not a real ground ball type pitcher, though. With that changeup, he'll get guys out in front, pop flies and fly balls. You'd love to see that ground ball, but you would look for that more with a 2-seam guy out there that sunk that fastball nicely.
Another 2-2 pitch. And it's full. Fans on their feet. Bags loaded. 1 out. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball over Cantu. Down the line. It'll score 2. And the Cubs have taken the lead.
Well, the Cubs left 13 men on last night. They stranded some early runners today. But here in this 7th inning, they've come up with some big base hits. One by Soriano and one by Aramis Ramirez. And you talked about this guy, a run producer. He's always been that. 5 years he's had where he's driven in 100 runs or more. He's averaged 104 RBIs in his 4 years with the Cubs.
Infield in. Here's Fukudome. That one is fouled back to the screen. That last look of the ball down the line, you could see the hop. It took about a 2-foot hop over the glove of Cantu.
Yeah,
he tried to dive and knock it down.
As he was diving and reaching out, the ball then hopped over the glove.
That's a strike. It's 0-2. Another look.
Hit sharply. There's the dive, and as he dives, no way to get in front of that ball. As he dives, it took that hop over his glove.
0-2 pitch.
Play some more football games here. There'll be more bad hops.
One, two. Line drive center field. Amezaga there makes the catch. Runner tags. Alfredo's throw is not in time. Lee scores. Cubs have put 5 on the board here in the 7th.
.30 pitches for Rainiel Pinto in this inning.
Here is Soto.
But as you've pointed out, Rich, there's no place for Freddie to go at this point.
Marlins will walk him to get to Fontenot.
Fontenot started the whole thing with a double off Chris Volstad.
Reed Johnson then had that sinking liner. Tony Ross dove and couldn't quite make the catch. The tough part for the Marlins is that the Cubs pen is deeper, fresher. Yeah, the first 2 games of this series have been tight ones, and Pinella's had to go down there. But remember, they came off a series in Atlanta where the Cubs wiped out the Braves in 3 games.
Scored 29 runs in that 3-game series in Atlanta.
Kensing in the bullpen. Ronnie Cedeno is going to pitch hit for Fontenot.
It does give Freddie that option to bring in Logan Kensing.
Here he comes. And Freddie's going to make the move. 5-2 Cubs. Are Marooney called to the bullpen.
Truck or van? Who you gonna call? Marooney! How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a screamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV. Change your life. Sharp.
Nothing lead has turned into a 5-2 Cubs lead. The Marlins playing with a short bullpen to begin with. Go to Logan Kensing now with runners at first and second, and Ronnie Cedeno at the plate.
Yeah, Cedeno pinch hitting for Fontenot. He'll stay in the game and play in the infield as well. Here are the numbers on Logan, who's thrown the ball well in his handful of starts since he's been back. Handful of outings.
Ramirez at second, Soto's at first. 1-1. Cedeno versatile, has played well. We pointed it out the other night. Even the Cubs reserves are all having good years. Even their guys up the middle, Terrio, Fontenot, hitting well. DeRosa is having his career year in terms of home runs.
Yeah, Cedeno at 277. ever since they brought over Jim Edmonds. He's been on fire.
Three and one. Another right-handed bat is on deck. Reed Johnson. Outside corner. It's 3-2. Marlins have dug themselves a 3-run hole late in this ball game, and the Cubs bullpen very talented. Three-2. It's outside. Bags are loaded. Cubs bullpen has Kerry Wood. They've got Carlos Marmol, Jeff Smarja, Bob Howry.
Yeah, it was Reed Johnson hit that sinking line drive to center field.
One and 0, and Kensing having trouble finding the plate.
Between Chris Volstad, who started this inning, Rainiel Pinto, and now Logan Kensing, this will be the 50th pitch this inning.
One and one. Breaking ball fouled off, and it's 1-2. Ramirez, Soto, Cedeno. Breaking ball lined into left center field. That's going to get in there. That's going to the wall. That's going to score 3 runs. And the Cubs have busted it wide open. Yikes.
Second hit in the inning for Reed Johnson. Bases clearing double. You keep throwing that slider, pretty soon you make a mistake with it, and there it was. Slider after slider after slider. Reed Johnson took care of the hanger and really took care of this game.
DeRosa's up for the second time. Oh and 1. Oh and 2. Chopper to third. Cantu makes the play, but the Cubs erupt. 8 runs in the 7th. And the Marlin bullpen falters. got to Ryan Dempster. Cody Ross in the third. Bounced it off the wall. Soriano got too deep. That turned into a triple. The Marlins got that run home with a John Baker ground ball. And the Fish were on the board. Sixth inning. Marlins added a run. After a walk to Hanley Ramirez, Gonzo put one in the gap. 2-0 lead. But in the seventh, Chris Volstad gave up this leadoff double. Mike Fontenot got it started. Reniel Pinto came in, gave up this, a 2-run double to Alfonso Soriano, and the Cubs were rolling. Pinto would give up another big hit. Aramis Ramirez. This was a 2-run double. Then Reed Johnson punched one in the gap. He drove in 3, and the Cubs had 8 runs in that inning. Maybe this is the year. That certainly was the inning for the Cubs.
Well, there's no question, Rich. They have an explosive offense. They lead the league in runs. And the Marlins have kind of held them in check the first couple games. Cubs fans love to party. They're having a good time. And most of them here are Cubs fans, by the way. They're having a good time today.
Even a nifty sign is no consolation on a day like this. Neil Kotz out of the bullpen.
Well, Lou Piniella with many options right now once the game was busted wide open with that 8-run inning. Mark DeRosa comes into the game. He goes to second base.
Baker leads it off against Kotz. So Ryan Dempster kind of redeemed here. He's in line for win number 14 this season. The loss in this ball game would go to Reniel Pinto.
Well, that's what happens. You can do that when your offense jump starts, and you can get wins like that. And that's how you put together a big season of winning 18, 20 games. And it'll be 14 for Dempster.
Baker a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Baker, a Meziga who came in the double switch, and then Hanley. Kotz strikes out Baker. Marlins Super Saturdays. Of course, you get the concert, fireworks, autograph sessions, giveaways, and more. Upcoming second half Super Saturday concerts include Olga Tagnon on August 30th and Victor Manuel and Albita on September 13th. 1-877 Marlins. A Meziga. Alfredo 0 for 2 in this series. His first AB of this ball game.
All you ask of a pitcher in this situation is to throw strikes, and Kotz come in and done that.
Even their cleanup guy, the guy that, you know, gets in a blowout, is having a solid year.
Well, and as you said, Rich, that's the mark of a team that goes on and wins the division and gets into postseason. You usually see that. You usually see a couple of career years, if not a couple of career years, the entire roster having solid years.
Kotz's ERA 3.09. And it's getting lower by the pitch. 2 quick outs, and here comes Hanley.
No, did you see? I know there was different news around the game, some bad news for the Atlanta Braves and Tom Glavine. It looks like he might have to have elbow surgery, Tommy John surgery. If he does, it's a good chance his career is going to be over at 305 wins for Tom Glavine. Of
course, John Smoltz is trying to make it back after surgery. There's no guarantees that he might be back. Greg Maddux, I don't think, has announced whether he's coming back next year or not.
You know, he's pitched well enough that he just might. He's got a lot of no decisions, but he's pitched pretty well.
Reading the game story from the matchup the other night where Maddux faced Moyer, somebody asked Moyer, I believe it's only the second time those two guys had faced each other in their careers. They haven't faced each other a lot. Someone asked, do you ever think you guys will face each other again? And Moyer said, well, I don't know about him, but I'm coming back. So it sounds like Moyer wants to pitch next year.
I think Moyer's a year older, isn't he? Or are they about the same?
Moyer's 3 years older. Maddux 42, Moyer 45.
Yeah.
Hanley takes up.
Yeah, Moyer's 45.
Here's the 2-2. Moyer has accomplished something that Steve Carlton never accomplished in Philadelphia. In 13 consecutive starts, he's given up 3 runs or less. Last guy to do that was back in 1967. I don't have the name, but I know it wasn't Carlton. Broken bat and a pop-up. And the Marlins go down quietly.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all of the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Family photos. And it's immediately following this one. This one was 2-0 Marlins. That was going into the 7th. As we go into the 8th, Alfonso Soriano 1 for 4. Jacobs, and it's into the seats. Now the Marlins have a day off tomorrow, and some might be wondering, well, you know, you've got arms down there that have worked a lot, but you got a day off tomorrow. Why don't you work them again today? It doesn't work that way, because then you get into a danger area in terms of injuries and overwork.
And all you have to do is look around baseball and see pitchers dropping like flies, going on the disabled list, surgeries.
Yeah, just stroll through the waiting room of James Andrews' office.
And then one guy just keeps going strong. Roy Halladay. with the Toronto Blue Jays. A complete game win at Boston at Fenway Park yesterday. His 8th complete game of the year. He's 14-9.
Soriano swings and misses. Nissan presents this day in baseball history. The Cardinals beat the Reds. First Major League game to be completed after midnight. That was in 1937. The Mets shutting out Pittsburgh in the 9th inning. So that score makes this one even more painful. Carlos Beltran is homered, is 17th. Brian Schneider as well.
It won the other night. And Santana, Johan Santana, about to pick up that win.
Milwaukee and the Dodgers are minutes away from starting in Los Angeles. Arizona had a couple of grand slams.
How about that?
And has a game lead in the West.
Chris Young and Miguel Montero.
To left. Two down.
Number 25, first baseman Derek.
Well, the Cubs head out of here. They have an off day tomorrow. And then open up a week's worth of games with Cincinnati and Washington at home.
Marlins will fly across the country tomorrow, Tuesday night in San Francisco. Three in San Francisco, 3 in Arizona, and then 3 in Atlanta.
Have a little late night baseball for you.
Who knows, maybe some late night baseball on the West Coast will get the bats going. Tuesday and Wednesday night. Thursday's an afternoon game. That would be a happy hour edition of Late Night with the Fish.
Big Night Tuesday, Email Tuesdays, and Sweater Vest Tuesday.
Oh.
I'm with you. I just hope that offense perks up a little bit on this trip.
Aramis Ramirez's bat has perked up these last 2 innings. He had the 2-run double in the 7th. 7th inning, the big inning for the Cubs. All 8 runs. They knocked Volstead out. They knocked Pinto around. And they roughed up Kenzie.
Yeah, I think that the whole 7th inning, Freddie was trying to squeeze that one last inning out of Chris Volstead. And who knows, it may have been a different look had he been able to do so. But after he gave up the back-to-back hits, he just had to make a change and go to the bullpen. But I think his initial thought was, let's see if you can get me through one more inning.
Kosuke Fukudome with a count 0-2. He's 0 for 3. He's 0 for 4. Kensing strikes him out. Cubs leave a couple. Marlins down here 8-2. And stay in the game hold of the day. Certainly, this does not apply to today's ball game for the Marlins. Just as middle relievers keep their team in the game, you two can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Gonzo, Cantu, Jacobs. Neil Kotz is still out there.
Hard to imagine last at bat for Gonzo was a huge base hit. His ringing double that sailed over the head of Johnson in center field gave the Marlins a 2-0 lead.
And while the 8th inning or the 7th inning collapse of 8 runs is probably going to be the headliner, the fact that the Marlins in the bottom of the 6th had opportunities to add to a 2-0 lead and didn't.
At one point, a double play ground ball out would have added a 3rd run. And I know you look at that 8 runs, but as I said at the time, it's a psychological thing. If the Marlins had gotten that 3rd run, it's a whole different outlook that the Cubs have on this game. And that's why sometimes those things go lost. Not from this booth, though. They don't go lost from this booth.
3-1 pitch is popped up. DeRosa makes the catch, and there's an out here in the 8th. Cantu is 1 for 3. Well, the Cubs are the best team in the National League. I don't think there's any dispute in that. The Brewers right now have the 2nd best record in the National League. Of course, they've got the Cardinals right behind them, 2 games back in the wild card. The Mets start play at 67 and 56, and as Tommy pointed out, they're hot. They've won 5 in a row.
On their way to 6 in a row.
Excuse me, yeah, they're about to win 6 in a row once that game goes final in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, if they win that game, it'll be 9 out of their last 11 that they've won. And the Marlins will end this homestand that had some hopes before the thing started. They knew they had some challenges with the Cardinals and the Cubs, but they'll finish this homestand 2-5.
Cantu drives that ball down the line and to the wall.
A nice swing, double number 30 for Jorge Cantu.
Up comes Jacobs. The tough part in the Marlins order for the Fish, and the part where Ryan Dempster really got his important outs in the 4-5 spots. Jacobs and Ugla 0 for 6. All 6 of them strikeouts. And the 2 biggest strikeouts for Dempster came in that 6th inning. After Gonzo's RBI double, Cantu, just trying to move Gonzo up to third, punched one into right field. The Marlins had runners at first and third and nobody out. And Dempster, in a long at bat, ended up striking out Jacobs for the 3rd time. And then got Ugla, struck him out. Dempster ended up getting out of the inning, giving up just that 1 run, and left trailing 2-0. But of course the Cubs put 8 on the board in the 7th. So Dempster, if this score holds, will get the win and go to 14-5.
Right now, Jake just a few strikeouts away from 100. The Marlins already have 3 in their lineup with 100 strikeouts or more.
Two and 2 to Jacobs. Some good news for the Marlins. They missed Tim Lincecum. And it looks like they're going to miss Jonathan Sanchez as well in San Francisco.
Kevin Correa, Ricky Nolasco in the first game of that series.
They'll get Matt Cain against Scott Olson in the second game. Jacobs goes down for the 4th time.
Wow. There's a lot of pressure on Dan Ugla right now to not strike out, because he's gone down 3 times. And he's not going to get to face Neil Kotz for some reason. And Dan just kind of shrugs and laughs. He's saying, wait a minute, it's 8-2. Lou Piniella hasn't checked the stat sheet and seen that Dan's hitting below 200 against lefties.
Cubs make a pitching change, so will we. Our Marooney called to the bullpen.
Need a car, truck or van. Who you gonna call? Marooney! How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a streamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV. Change your life. Sharp.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond...
You talk about a key ingredient to that bullpen. If the Cubs go into postseason, it looks like they will. Add some margin to that group of Carlos Marmol and Kerry Wood. And you saw the lefty, Neil Kotz.
Got Bob Howery down there. Now Jacob struck out 4 times. Ugla has struck out 3 times. As you mentioned, some pressure on Ugla here. Having 2 hitters back-to-back in your lineup that strike out 4 times in a game.
Look at Dan's numbers, last 5 games. Ouch. Marlins have struck out 12 times today.
Down goes Ugla. Wow.
Seems like you need to be a physics professor to choose the right TV. Luckily, I am one. Your choice is the brand behind the first LCD display in a calculator. The dreamers who evolved the LCD into a 3-inch TV. The designers who first hung an LCD TV on a wall. The pioneers who gave America full HD 1080p in an LCD TV. The creators of the world's largest LCD display. Or choose all the above. Sharp.
Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Game stop at the 6th inning. Just complete the download, go 6 innings,
and hopefully the tape will self-destruct, or the DVR or TiVo, whatever you might be using.
Mark Hendrickson.
Go back to the Olympics. I don't know, though. What interest is there now? Michael Phelps is through.
Isn't rhythmic gymnastics coming up?
I saw some really intense trampoline exhibition the other day. And the doubles.
Was it in the Olympics or was it somewhere else?
No, it was in the Olympics. And the doubles badminton was a fiercely contested match. How they hit that little birdie so hard.
That ball smoked. Meziga runs it down. Soto is out number 1. So on a day, and we told you from the outset, the Marlins bullpen, a couple arms down there that Freddie really didn't want to use because of the way the week has unfolded. Chris Volstead went as long as he could, 6 innings. Reniel Pinto had the big blow up in the 7th. Logan Kensing came in that one as well, and he gave up a big 3-run double.
Henry Blanco pinch hitting here for Samardzija.
Right center field. That falls.
The Marlins just can't get that Henry Blanco out. There's another example of what you were talking about a couple of innings ago about throughout their roster. A guy who's a 225 career hitter, he's having a solid year. Blanco came in before that base hit, hitting at 284. So doing a nice job backing up Giovanni Soto. Good combination that Lou Piniella has at the catcher position.
Mets game has gone final as they shut out Pittsburgh 4-0. Sweep the Pirates. So the Mets have won 6 in a row. They feasted on the Nationals and the Pirates this week.
They got the Pirates, I think, tomorrow also. I think it was one of those wraparound series.
Ground ball base hit. Blanco strolls into third.
4th hit for Reed Johnson today. 2 singles, 2 doubles.
He started the day 0 for 1. Here's DeRosa. DeRosa came in, ended up getting 2 at-bats in the 7th. Meziga fighting the sun, makes the catch. Blanco is going to rumble home. Our infinity extraordinary play. This was Reed Johnson's 3-run double. One of a handful of big hits for the Cubs in that 7th. Soriano.
Well, as we talked about, that part of the order has really done a job. Fontenot had a couple of hits before he came out of the game, and Johnson with a 4-hit day. So that's an amazing statistic that the Cubs have in their notes about their 7th and 8th hitters. Collectively throughout the year, whoever those hitters might be in those positions, hitting over 300. You can't find that anywhere else.
And if you project this team into the postseason, that bodes well if they get to the World Series against an American League team. American League teams generally are a little better offensively, a little more firepower.
Yeah, it gives them, they have some opportunities. I mean, Reed Johnson can play center. They could DH at Jim Edmonds, perhaps. Or they have some options, certainly.
Meziga using everything that he has to fight the sun. He used his hand, his glove, his hat, his sunglasses, and he makes the catch. That's not fun. Cubs add a run.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a screamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a streamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? At Grind TV on Yahoo Sports, you can submit your own videos or watch the pros in action. Check out the most outrageous, untamed, and awe-inspiring sports videos on the web, surfing, skateboarding, motocross, and so much more. For the sickest action sports videos, check out Grind TV on Yahoo Sports.
Hey, this is Curtis Cranston.
Hey, this is Adam Dunn. Check out the shop on MLB.com. Check out the shop on MLB.com for all your Dodger gear, for all your Red Sox gear,
All your Yankees gear.
All your Blue Jay gear.
Your Cincinnati Reds gear.
for all your Twins gear.
Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts.
My dad's a Cubs fan. My son and I are Marlins fans. My brother, a Cubs fan, will get my share of the inheritance. But hey, I got this cool t-shirt. Let's see his t-shirt.
Well, let's see Carlos Marmol. And that's who Paul LaDuca is going to see. So LaDuca pinch hitting for Hendrickson. Gets the tough right-hander in Marmol.
LaDuca takes inside. So Paul back in a Marlins uniform. This will be a lot less dramatic than his first at-bat in a Marlins uniform. It's a pinch hit home run on the first pitch he saw. LaDuca pops out. Here comes Cody Ross. Mets, by the way, do have that one more game of the wraparound series, so to speak.
So they'll have an exciting Sunday night in Pittsburgh.
Then a 3-game series against Atlanta up at Shea Stadium, followed by a 4-gamer against Houston. Then they go on the road for 2 at Philadelphia, and then are back here at Dolphin Stadium on the 29th, 30th, and 31st.
That's who the Marlins face after their return from this next road trip. San Francisco, Arizona, Atlanta, and then come home to face the Mets. And you know what? It's been a miserable day today. All is not lost. It's a long road trip. Certainly time to regroup, but in order to do that, the offense is going to have to take charge, because the starting pitching has done its job, and unfortunately that hasn't shown in the win part. It's shown more in the loss part. Put a lot of pressure on the bullpen.
Marlins go to San Francisco, which is not a great hitter's park, but against the Giants rotation that has given up some runs, and they won't see the Giants' best in Lincecum. That changes when they go to Arizona, who has a very good starting rotation. But the Diamondbacks struggle to score runs at times. And then into Atlanta, where the Braves are banged up. Cubs just came from there having swept them.
You know, somehow Bobby Cox always seems to get his club playing hard, though, especially against the Marlins.
Baker pops it up. Ramirez reaches. Oh, and 1. Dempster the first 6. Neil Kotz for an inning and 2/3. Samardzija for an out. Marmol. San Francisco, a 3-1 lead going to the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta. Houston 3-0 over Arizona in the 9th. Arizona has just 1 hit.
That was a Roy Oswalt, Randy Johnson matchup.
Oswalt has gone all 8 innings. He has punched out 10. And he's going to give way to Jose Valverde in the 9th. Baker works a walk. Here comes a Mezigan.
Boy, some wild, high-scoring American League games today. Yankees beat the Royals 15-6. Toronto has a 14-3 lead at Fenway in the 8th inning.
Minnesota has scored 10 runs and leads Seattle 10-6.
Baltimore, they banged out a bunch of base hits and runs in Detroit.
The Twins game's in the 7th. White Sox have a 3-0 lead in Oakland. White Sox and Twins battling for that central lead. I think both Tampa Bay and Boston need to keep an eye on the White Sox and the Twins, because I think a lot of people have assumed the wild card's coming out of the East. But if the Twins and the White Sox have a good stretch run, that could change.
Some dejected looks from the Marlins bench today.
Alfredo takes a strike and it's 3-1. DeRosa, and it's over. The Cub fans that have stuck around will celebrate. Chicago takes 2 of 3. They win this ball game with an 8-run 7th inning. (76-48) are the Cubs. The Marlins fall to 64 and 61. Post-game shows coming up. Inside the Marlins, Luis Gonzalez is coming up. Cub fans happy. 9-2 the final.